Attitude by Barney Matthews. I'm here today to talk to you about a small thing that can make a big difference. A small thing that you can change today. I'm here to talk to you about attitude. I'm going to tell you what it is, why it's important, how it can help you stay happy, how you can maintain a positive attitude, and how it can help you deal with difficult people. Before I start, I'd like to share a personal story about how attitude has helped me in my own personal life. In 2009, after our second round of in vitro fertilisation, my wife became pregnant with twins. At the 4-month ultrasound, the one where they tell you if you should paint the nursery blue or pink, we learnt that one of the boys was healthy, but the other had a serious birth defect. If he lived to full term, then he might only be with us for a few minutes or a few hours. We were referred to the high-risk pregnancy team at our hospital. We were assigned a genetic counsellor who explained my son's condition and what our options were. At the time, I couldn't pronounce anencephaly, let alone let you tell you what it was. We saw a palliative care doctor, something you never expect to have to do when you're having a baby. We enrolled in the birthing centre's bereavement program. It never occurred to me that a birthing centre would have one, but they do, and they're very good. My son Sam ended up living for 3 days in the end. I adopted an attitude of gratitude early on in our journey. I was grateful that we knew in advance so we could prepare for it. I was grateful for the tremendous support we received from the medical staff, our family and friends. I was grateful for the volunteer organisations such as Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, who sent a volunteer photographer to record our precious time together. I was grateful for the 3 days we got to spend with my wonderful son and that he passed away in his mother's arms. My attitude made the whole experience as good as it possibly could be. There's a saying, every day may not be good, but there is good in every day. I wholeheartedly believe that. So, on to attitude. Let's start by asking, what is attitude? So the dictionary defines attitude as the way a person views something or tends to behave towards it. It's how you feel something will be starting out. Winston Churchill said, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. That's the easier part, but why is it so important? Your attitude starting out has a huge impact on the outcome. It determines how hard you try and it determines how many times you try. Your attitude creates self-fulfilling prophecies. Let me say that again. Your attitude creates self-fulfilling prophecies. Your attitude has a huge impact on how happy you are. Your attitude has a huge impact on how successful you will be. For example, if you're trying to jump up and reach a 7-foot mark on the wall, and you go at it with the attitude that you can't reach it, you'll give it one half-hearted attempt and then you'll give up thinking, I knew I couldn't do this. However, if you attack it with the attitude of, I can reach that mark, you'll put in more effort into your jump, and if you happen not to reach it the first time, you'll try again and again until you reach it, because you know you can do it. There's a saying, positive thinking gets positive results, negative thinking gets negative results, and it's so true. Your attitude is also important because we have a tendency to see what we look for. We see what we're thinking. Our expectations are the engines of our perception. My friend William Shakespeare said, it is neither good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. If you wake up in the morning thinking today's going to be a good day, you'll see the things that support that. However, if you wake up thinking today's going to be a great day, then you'll look for things that support that. If you have the attitude that your job sucks, then you'll look for things to support that notion. You'll concentrate on the parts of your job you don't like the one unhappy person you talk to all day. However, if you have the attitude that you love your job, you'll look for things that support that. For example, the 3 people who thanked you sincerely for your help today. If you have the attitude that someone doesn't like you, that they are doing things to purposefully hurt you, then that's how you'll see them behaving towards you. You'll see them doing things that support the notion that they're mean. A positive attitude can help you with happiness too. With a positive attitude, you can choose to enjoy what you're doing. You can choose to like your job, to focus on the fun parts, to make the parts of your job that you aren't so keen on fun. You can choose to have a good day. Every day may not be good, but there is good in every day. Remember that. Decide in the morning that today is going to be a good day. And guess what? That's what will happen. You'll notice all the good things about that day, and you'll have a good day. Abraham Lincoln said, people are just about as happy as they make up their minds to be. It's all about attitude. I hope you can see now how important one's attitude is. So here's the question, how can we alter our attitude? How can you get and maintain a positive attitude every day? Well, I'd like to share 3 things that you can start doing today. First of all, start your day off right. The first hour is the most important one of the day. If you get off to a good start, the rest of the day will follow in the same vein. Read or listen to something positive each morning. Sometimes I'll read about attitude, sometimes read about a new technology I want to play with, sometimes I'll read about something new and exciting in the area of ski instruction. It doesn't matter what it is, it just has to be something positive. Read the news you need and filter all the unnecessary bad stuff. You need to know how the stock market's doing, but reading that news story about the family who were killed by a mad gunman with a chainsaw really doesn't help your attitude at all. Limit your exposure to negative input. The news, for example, and complainers. The more we hear bad things, the more we look for bad things. Do you know someone who's always complaining, always saying how bad things are? Well, limit your exposure to them. Try not to get into conversations with them. If you do have to talk to them, steer the conversation away from negative topics. Don't agree with them on their negative viewpoints. Offer a positive alternative. This stops you from getting dragged down, and chances are they won't be getting the negative feedback they're looking for, so they'll be less likely to engage in conversation with you. Exercise before work. Get those endorphins flowing. Decide right away that today is going to be a good day. Decide that every interaction is going to be a good one. Choose to think that every person you interact with has the best of intentions. Decide to do a good deed at the start of every day. Your attitude is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The second thing you can do is pick a positive attitude. If you only remember one thing from all that I've said today, remember that your attitude is a choice and that you can choose to pick a positive attitude. Starting right now, decide to purposely choose your attitude before you start anything. You always make a conscious decision to do something, like jumping up to touch that mark on the wall, so also consciously decide that you will reach the mark. Yoda said, do or not do, there is no try. Don't tell yourself that you're going to try to reach the mark, tell yourself that you will reach that mark. If you only remember one thing from what I've said, it should be this. Your attitude is a choice. Pick a positive attitude when starting anything. Third, watch your self-talk. We talk to ourselves all the time. What we're saying to ourselves affects our attitude. The more you hear something, the more you'll believe it, whether it's someone else telling it to you or whether it's you telling yourself. The average person has about 6,000 thoughts a day. That's 6,000 things you can tell yourself each day. Are you going around telling yourself, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that? Well, that's going to affect your attitude. For example, I would say that I'm not very good at parallel parking. Actually, the reason I'm probably not very good at parallel parking is that I've told myself that I'm no good at parking. The moment you hear yourself saying these negative things to yourself, say stop. I actually say the word stop in my head. Then I gather my thoughts and I start thinking about what I actually want to do. That works for the moment, but you can proactively work on this too. The more your mind hears something, good or bad, the more it believes it. Why not make sure you're telling yourself something that's going to help you? Some people call these affirmations, some people call it brainwashing. I call it a script. I'm a geek. First, pick what you want to work on, what you want to improve. For example, I could want to improve myself to say that I'm good at parking. But if you didn't like a particular part of your job, you could make it that too. Then write it out in the present tense. Last, run the script repeatedly and run it with feeling. I got into the habit of running my script or repeating it, saying it out loud to myself every time I wash my hands. That means I automatically do it 2 or 3 times a day. That way I also get to look myself in the eye when I'm doing it. As well as speaking the script, you could also write it down and read that. Post it on stickies, add it as a calendar reminder, whatever works for you. The more ways, the better. You might think scripts or affirmations are a bit hokey to begin with. That's okay, do them in private. But if you do them for a month, I promise you'll notice a difference. The core of my script is, I can do anything. I see good in people and situations. I am kind. The word attitude isn't mentioned, but they all contribute to attitude. So, to recap quickly, Barney's 3 tips for maintaining a positive attitude are: number 1, start the day right. Number 2, pick a positive attitude. And number 3, watch your self-talk. Gratitude. Gratitude is another attitude you can adopt that will help you in life. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down one thing each day you're grateful for. Use a diary, send yourself an email, whatever works for you. This will encourage you to focus on the positive. Sometimes in our house we share one thing that we're all grateful for at the dinner table. There's an old saying, if you count your assets, you'll always show a profit. Remember what your mum used to say: if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. This is brilliant advice that will help your positive attitude tremendously. Your mum was a wise lady. When you focus on what you have, you'll find that you have more. Gratitude will help your attitude tremendously. Your attitude can help when dealing with difficult people too. Who knew that such a little tool can help you in so many ways? First thing to realise is they're not difficult, they're different. It's just a matter of attitude or perspective. Some people have different communication styles to you: direct, indirect, oral, visual, emotional, big picture, detailed, whatever. Some people just have a different perspective. It's not wrong, it's different. Assume good intentions. Never ascribe to malice; that can be ascribed to ignorance. This is probably the most important thing. If you think someone's doing something to annoy you, you don't really know, you're just assuming. You can just as easily assume they're acting with the best of intentions and remain happy. Why not choose the one that's going to make you happy? You see what you look for. If you think someone's trying to annoy you, you will see things that will support that notion. If you think someone's being nice, you'll see things that support that notion. Ask yourself if it will matter in 5 years. I've shared a lot of information with you. Let me summarise quickly. First, know that your attitude is a choice, and know that it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Next, start the day right, and the rest of the day will follow in the same vein. Then, know that you consciously decide to start doing something, so start picking a positive attitude at the same time. Be aware of your self-talk. The more you hear something, the more you believe it. What are you telling yourself repeatedly? Your attitude affects your happiness. Remember, people are about as happy as they decide to be. Choose to be happy. Last, you can choose to treat someone as different instead of difficult. I encourage you to start thinking about your attitude right now, and I think you'll notice how it has a way of predicting the future. Remember what I've said and adopt a positive attitude. Thank you for listening. If you like what I've had to say,